Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I'm Roger Wakefield. I am so glad that y'all are here. Make sure I got the date right. I think I got the right one pulled up. I do.
Yep, you do.
If y'all been here before, welcome back. Happy Friday to you. Man, we're so glad that y'all come. We love what we get to do. We love the topics that we get to talk about. But remember along the way, if there's ever anything that y'all wish we would talk about, reach out to us. Let us know. Say, hey, man, why don't y'all ever talk about this? Why don't y'all ever do that? Because we want to make it fun for y'all. If you're new here, this is something we do every day because we believe that if you will get up and learn about your industry 30 minutes to an hour every day, by the end of the year, you can move up and be in the top 5% of your industry because you're going to know more about it than most people do. We put all this together to help you do that. And it's not just me alone. As you see, I got this ugly guy here with me, and man, it kind of is what it is. Squirt, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Good morning, everybody. I am Squirt, aka Henry or Randy. You're gonna hear them all.
There's
Dad
something they can't hear too.
I was gonna say, Dad calls me everything. Some we can say here, some we cannot.
Not that I would do anything like that.
Not that he would do anything like that ever.
Never.
I mean, come on. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm a 20-year pipe fitter, because I was raised around plumbers.
And knew he didn't want to be one.
That's it. But hey, what I do now, I really do support plumbers. I now run Leak Pro. I build the equipment myself, and we build the most precise leak detection equipment for professional plumbers. Build a couple different devices. I've got the probe for that meter to the home service. It's T-handle, real durable. That's the one you're going to want for outdoor stuff. But then also you've got the Sidekick. When you go indoors, or even when you're listening through any concrete, whether that's inside or out of the driveway or even the sidewalk, you want that Sidekick. That's the one that lets you just listen through the concrete, honestly, because it enhances the sound so much. To check out our equipment, visit www.leak-pro.com. But also you can give me a call if you want direct 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and we can discuss the equipment. But also I do a 2-day in-person training where I will teach you every aspect of leak detection and how to incorporate that into your business. So give me a call. Once again, it's 1-8888-LEAK-PRO.
And if you're the owner or the manager, then you come in, I'll sit down and talk with you about the marketing, the SEO, everything that we do, everything from SEO to social media, what we do to make our phone rings and help us grow. And it's a big deal to do right now because most people that come in for training, what they really talk about, the reason they're here, the leak detection company in that area that they normally use is 6 weeks out. And nobody wants to leave their customers 6 weeks out. So if it's something you want to learn more about, let me know. And talking about social media, if you want to learn how to kickstart your YouTube channel, if it's something you've thought about, this is something that you need to do. Even Mr. B says every company in the world should have a YouTube channel. I don't know why they don't. Well, I know why they don't. And I took the top 3 reasons, and in this webinar, and I've got a link here to a free webinar, but in this webinar, I debunk those myths and show you why really anybody can do YouTube, but also teach you how to do it right. So if you want to learn more about that, go to www.justmattroger.com, and I'll teach you the things you need to know. So let's jump into the national news because, again, we got states spending money. Tennessee's launching a $500 million fund to fast track vocational school expansions.
Yeah.
You gotta love this.
I like to hear things like this. That is what we want to see more of going on around all of our states, okay? So I was kind of happy to bring this one up because it's like, you know what? I love when we're making the good strides that we need to. But
it's a big deal.
That's it. Governor Bill Lee has signed off on a $500 million initiative.
That's a B, y'all.
To expand vocational and technical school access across Tennessee. And guys, this funding, it's going to go towards new facilities, equipment, and instructor recruitment. This is major, guys, because this is going to create these fast track programs for welding, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, all expected early 2026.
Okay, so that's quick.
Quick
that's 9 months away, 8 months away, somewhere around in there.
Sounds like a modern day construction project.
I know. Hey, we got this 5-year project. We want it done in 9 months.
That's it.
Yeah, we have seen that before. But anyway, the cool thing is rural areas will be prioritized to combat labor shortages. Now, I love that because, I mean, look, if you live in the big city, it's easy to find any job. You can find training for just about anything in the world in the big city.
That's it.
Get out into the rural areas, it's a lot harder. They're like, man, we just ain't got nothing. And they don't want to come to the big city, and I completely get that. But there's a place called Sullivan County. It's already planning to open a plumbing and HVAC training hub inside of an existing high school spring of 2025. So, I mean, like right now. So people are already looking at this like, look, how do we get involved with this? And this isn't just a win for Tennessee. It's a blueprint for other states already watching, because Texas started doing this, 5 to 10 years ago. It hadn't been 10, I know, but they already started doing a deal where they bring people into high school after their freshman year. If they decided they wanted to do plumbing, the Texas State Board had set up a deal with some schools, and there's a politician, man, I wish I could remember his name right now, out in Longview, Tyler, Longview area. They said, look, why don't we put plumbing back in school? Let's put it in the high school. So after their freshman year, if they decided they wanted to do plumbing, their sophomore, junior, and senior year, that's what it was. They literally learned plumbing. And then if they graduated and passed that class, they got to go down to Austin and take their tradesman exam. Guys, that's a $50,000 a year job starting out.
Yep.
Not a bad gig.
That's it. Definitely a good gig.
It's kind of nice. You got that? While Squirt plays with that, we're gonna pull up a website here. He's getting so good at this. Booyah. Okay, so the concretenetwork.com is full of installation guides, decorative concrete ideas, slab prep best practices, and material calculators. Now, this is a strong resource for flat work crews, general contractors, and even plumbers dealing with trench and repour. It's what it's all about. So there's case studies on here with before and after galleries, which is Squirt's favorite.
That's right.
And it's great for apprentices to study site layout and job sequencing. What all do you like about this, Squirt?
So one of the coolest things I found here, guys, is if you're wanting, like, we're talking about getting a lot of things done out here, talking about some concrete that we may have done. If you're going to get any concrete work done,
it ain't may have done.
Well,
we got
that's
to
true.
we get
have
stuff
to,
done.
period. But staining concrete, stamping concrete, concrete overlays, concrete resurfacing, polishing, dyes, colored concrete. There's so many different things they do in concrete nowadays, and we got to see this firsthand at Great Wolf Lodge when we did that project.
Yes, we did.
They came out and did concrete that looked like wood floors, old wood planks and different things. Like, so cool. I just think this is a neat resource to kind of go and check out the different things that you can do in concrete. And if you're a concrete guy out there, guess what? This is a great resource to go see some of the things that actually can be done. Some of the extras.
When you look at that one, I love that fire pit like that. That's beautiful.
Photo galleries, training and events. I was looking into this earlier. They do some different trainings throughout the country, guys. Different shows that you can attend.
They got the World of Concrete on there.
I was going to say, I don't.
Is that the top left right there?
I'm not sure.
No, right down there where it says something concrete. Yeah, is that what that says? I can't see from here.
Decocrete.
Okay.
Decocrete. But I'm sure they were probably there.
I want to go to World of Concrete one year, just because people tell me all the time, they're like, dude, you need to see that one.
That's it. And like, you can find contractors and stuff here, but like, I just thought it was cool because there were so many different concrete options now. It's not just, oh, give me a slab. How do you want that slab? What color do you want your slab? All these different things that you get now. Guys, get out here and check it out. There's just some really cool stuff here. A lot of the technical information, if you want to go through learning how to do some concrete, things like that, it's all here. Pretty freaking neat.
And that is really cool. Now, you remember you got that stop screen on the top left.
I do.
Okay, just making sure. I'm going to jump into the questions real quick and say hello to some people. Elizabeth Carnegie says, thanks, Squirt.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
That's it. Happy birthday, Miss
looky
Elizabeth.
there. And I do. I see that right there. Matt McDonough says, Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing and Squirt. Happy Friday, brothers. Tell me about that leak pro. Man, we always do. Call him the leak wizard.
There we go.
I've had people say, are you the leak whisperer? It's like, no, but I can do it. Davidas 125, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Squirt will even teach you how to pee. Well, he'll teach you how to find it.
That's it.
Eric says, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. I know you celebrated your birthday yesterday.
Yeah, it's like birthday week
I
around
know.
here.
Matt says, that is great. Tennessee's going to need it with the infrastructure building out there. And they're just keep on growing, which is good.
That's it.
Davidas 125 says, I want to ask, I'm 24-year-old man. Am I too old to go in trade school? Not at all.
No,
Not
not even
at all.
close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah, I've had students that were 55, so no, I think you're good.
You still got time to go through multiples if you
I
want.
know. and back to the concrete, guys. Here's the thing: they're crack control 101. I mean, think about it. I love that crack control. That guy breaks down spacing, depth, and rebar in simple diagrams. It's excellent for training or estimating walkthroughs.
Yep.
Okay. So if you're training your kids or you're estimating, go through those walkthroughs with them like that. It's great. And if you're pouring anything deeper than 4 inches, this site might just save you some money. So this is good stuff to get to know, good stuff to watch, and good stuff to figure out. So let's talk about business growth, Squirt.
Man, this is a big one. Training versus hiring. What do you invest in when you're short-staffed? Yeah. This has been a long time debate. You know, do you train somebody green or do you hire a journeyman at top dollar?
If you've got time, you train.
Yep.
You can't train somebody green today and have them in a truck tomorrow. You can't.
Not at all. Not possible whatsoever.
And then hiring a top dollar plumber just because he's top dollar doesn't mean he's good. And I hate to say that.
Like, that's what I was going to say here. Like, honestly, I love getting that green apprentice because the key is
Make him yours.
they don't have a lot of bad habits they learn from anybody else except for what they learned growing up, which is fine. I can break most of those. But if they've been taught a bunch of bad ways to actually do the job, they're going to try to lean towards those more than the ways you need them to do it the right way.
And training takes more time.
That 100%. Like, and that's the con there is when you get that green apprentice, yeah, they don't have any bad habits, but you're going to have to commit the time to teach them everything they don't know. And guess what? When they're green, they don't know nothing.
But when you spend that time with them, that helps you build the culture and the loyalty.
Yep.
Because here's the deal. If I work for a company and they've invested in me, why would I go anywhere?
You stay a lot
I'm
longer.
like, oh my God, I love these people. I will do anything in the world for them. That's the culture you want.
Yep.
And if you invest in me and you keep it, why leave? You know, here's the problem that most tradespeople don't understand. Most companies don't invest in their people.
Nope.
And I hate to say it, but it's true because I deal with people all the time, deal with companies all the time.
That's why I spent 13 years at my last one, because they kept investing in me and giving me new opportunities and try new things. And they let me grow into what I am now.
But then again, if the hiring costs, if that's what you've got to do, it does. It costs you more money. But it can help solve your short-term production needs.
Yes.
And you might find a diamond out there. I mean, they're out there.
Yeah.
But remember, I used to talk about this deal. I wanted to run the ad that said, hey, look, if you're looking for a job, I don't want you. If you're the top guy at your company, if you're the guy at your company everybody comes to when they've got questions, when they got problems, because they know you're the one that helps, you're the team member they can go to, you're the guy I want.
Yep.
So if you're that guy and you're hearing this right now, come talk to me because I'll make it worth it for you to come over here. And man, when you're hiring people like that, you're doing things a whole lot better, and you could find that good person. But if you think that the guy that's going to save your company is sitting at home on the unemployment list right now,
Probably not.
yeah, I don't
Could
know.
be.
It's
he
a
could be in his
possibility.
lull for that year and he's off right now. It's possible, but
Anything's possible.
super slim
Yeah.
odds of that.
So put together a blended approach. Use your newer techs on service and invest in training on fast track project leads. So there's different ways to look at it. But no matter what you do, you've got to invest in training. Even if it's that new hotshot guy coming in that thinks he's great, you want to get somebody in that you can work with, that you can train, that's going to learn your system, that's going to learn your culture. Just because somebody's good doesn't mean they're good for you.
Yeah. Well, a good example, contractors who invest 4 hours a month. Guys, that's an hour a week.
Yeah.
In hands-on apprentice training, see 27% less turnover. That's pretty good. That's only an hour a week, guys, of hands-on training with them. That's not a major commitment. Yeah, it's a little cost, but guess what? What that feeds into, the loyalty that builds, and to reduce turnover rate that much, it's well worth committing that hour a week because that's a lot cheaper than another hire. So
I'm going to jump in here real quick. David Briarworth says, Good Friday from Eugene, Oregon. Good to have you back in here, brother. Got somebody on LinkedIn says, what are the best trades to start after 40 that offer good income potential without taking too long to ramp up? Well, if you're just getting started on a trade, it's going to take you 2 to 4 years to learn that trade. It really is. But in 2 to 4 years, you could be making over $100,000. So kind of got to look at it that way. Mr. Paul Johnson, how are you? Says, what's up, Roger Wakefield? Is just another day in paradise. And he says, no, good guys are busy.
Yep.
And that's true. So remember, though, if you're always hiring and never training, you're not growing.
Nope.
You're just replacing people.
Yep.
It's not a good way to be.
You're putting out fires as quick as you can. Oh, let me just get this temporary in. Oh, they left. Dang, let me get another one in real quick. Let me just keep this going. Not a fun wheel to be on.
I tell you what, man, I hired this young tradesman, apprentice type plumber that, man, he was just supposedly jam up and he's underbidding everything. And then he's like, well, I got this work, but I need to make more money. So I'm gonna go sell more work and get it started. And it's like, no, we finish our customers. Get in there and finish the work. And he took like a job that should have taken 3 or 4 days, turned into 2 weeks. It's like, dude, you suck.
Yep.
And yeah, getting rid of him was a great thing.
That's it.
I'm just saying.
He needed more training.
I know. And that's it. And he's one of them that when he came in, he's like, yeah, look, I don't have time for the training. I got to get out and start making money.
Yep.
Like, yeah, but we need you to do things our way. He says, yeah, but it's like, okay, we'll work with you. Yeah, big mistake.
Yeah.
Let's talk about service work.
Man, so when you know it's a DIY fix, but you still have to charge.
I hate that. 'Cause I've had customers call Randy and say, hey, my garbage disposal's not working. I need a new one. It's like, well, is it busted out? Is it leaking? Is it flooding? And they're like, no. Oh. It's like, okay. I said, is it making any noise? He says, no. I said, okay, well, you look underneath. Is there a red button sticking out? He says, yeah. I said, well, press that button. So he pressed it. He said, okay. He said, now turn your switch on. He says, well, now it's humming. He says, now it quit again. Said, the red button sticking out again? I said, yeah. I said, okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a plunger, stick it upside down in the garbage disposal and spin it around. Your gears are jammed up. So what I want you to do is unjam it and then look down in there because there's going to be something clogging it, something jammed that it's bound up.
It's locking it in.
And he says, okay, I tried. It didn't work. And I'm like, you didn't try. Well, that was 3 seconds. Yep. He said, look, I know I need a new one. Just how much is a new one? So I gave him a price. So then I got out there. But I told him, I said, look, even if I show up and unjam it, here's how much it's going to be. He says, no, it's broke. So, okay. So I get out there.
Not broke, y'all. Picked
up the new garbage disposal on the way. Got out there and walked in. Left the new garbage disposal in the truck. Walked in. Saw his plunger laying on the floor. Said, do you mind? He said, no, go ahead. Turn the plunger over. Spend about 3 seconds. Feel it, boom, unjammed it, pulled the little spray thing, the protector out, looked down in there, pulled my needle nose out of my pocket because I knew I was going to need them. Stuck them down in there, pulled it out and set a screw up. I said, you recognize that screw? And he said, yeah. He said, I changed the light bulb last week and I couldn't find where that third screw went. And it was the screw that holds the glass in place. I said, I found it for you. He said, yeah. He said, I don't need a new disposal now, do I? I said, no.
Nope.
He said, you're still going to charge me at $275, aren't you? I said, yes, sir.
Yep.
I said, I tried to tell you exactly what to do. He said, dude, you did. He said, I didn't really think it could be that easy.
That's it. It happens. It happens. Like you go in to fix a toilet that's not working and everything, and it's just the chain popped off of the flapper, and they couldn't see it. They couldn't figure out how to rehook it back up, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hate driving out there to do this for you because I have to charge you the time. Like it. Nothing's free in life.
People
Like,
don't understand when you go to somebody's house, it costs you at least an hour.
at least an hour to go do the thing and come back. If it's a 5-minute thing, it still takes an hour. Like almost nothing's around us within 15 minutes.
So you still got to charge.
That's it.
Because you walk in, you see the issue, you instantly know, hey, God, I wish I wouldn't have called a plumber.
Yep.
Because it's something, you got a clogged up aerator, you got a trip breaker, you got a loose wire nut, you've got something that's just easy.
Yep.
But you're not just covering the drive time, you're not just covering your time there, you're covering the risk. Because if anything happens, guess who's at fault?
You're liable now.
Yeah.
Yep. Explain it real clear, show the value of it, and offer an option to waive or reduce the charge if they rebook or sign a maintenance plan.
Now that is something you can do that's good.
The maintenance plan offer is, look, hey, this is going to cover the cost of this trip. You just sign up for the next year.
Yeah.
And it's done. But then they're going to be locked in. They're going to start getting the advantage of having that plan. They're not going to leave it.
Mm-hmm. And there's a good way to say it. It's like, that's a quick fix, but it's also what keeps a lot of homes from having water today.
Ooh, I like
So
that.
I'll show you how to do it, but I've still got to give you the bill because the call, since I made the trip, I've still got to collect for all that. Free advice has value, but your time has a price.
Yep.
And that free advice, I'll give it on the phone all day long.
That's it.
And people are like, why do you tell people how to fix their plumbing when you could collect money to go do it? Dude, I would rather spend 5 minutes on the phone
Yep.
and make somebody's day than come out and piss them off for $250.
I'd much rather teach anybody how to fix their own problem on their own, period. I'm not worried about the trip. Like, if it saves me the trip, great. But if I can teach somebody something that benefits them now and in the future, or anybody that ever they run into, oh my gosh, I have this problem. I fixed that one time at home. Here's what I did. You ought to try it. You're passing that knowledge on, and that's the key to the trades. It's the only way for the new up-and-comers to know what to do. So,
And they got to see it. They got to learn it.
that's it.
All right, let's roll into materials, equipment, and tools because you found something different here.
Man, so the fastest way to cut metal studs without a mess.
Okay.
All right. So standard chop saw, I've seen that on chop saw all the
It's a
time.
mess.
Sparks, burrs, cleanup. But there's a lot of best-in-class options now. You've got DeWalt's 20-volt max cordless metal shear. Milwaukee's M18 fuel 5 3/8-inch metal circular saw. Aviation snips for small work, but they'll wear you out fast. I use snips all the time. Snips will wear you out.
Yeah, it's a workout. It is a work. I remember the old torque wrenches. I think my right forearm used to be about this big, and my left one looked about like this.
From twist.
And it's just, you just look at it, but you're on it all freaking day long, and it will wear you out.
Yep. But you can use a score and snap method, and if you're using this, it'll with a speed square and a pair of metal snips, it's going to reduce the mess and dust on job site remodels. Because that's big. That's what I used to do. I felt like I'd cut the edges, I'd fold it over, then I'd snip right through it. No mess, no nothing. It's pretty simple. but it's something a lot of people don't know when they first start out, that you can do that. And it's like, oh, wait, oh, this thing really can't. You can make it flimsy again to where you can actually just cut it like a piece of paper. But if you're still using a grinder to cut metal studs, your cleanup guy probably hates you.
Well, that ain't the electrician.
That's it. One of my favorites, just punching the studs for like running water lines and stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's my
When
favorite.
we're dealing with that.
I remember when I found out about that, man, I thought I'd done that and gone to heaven.
Yes. Yeah, because I remember starting out when they first came out trying to do it with hole saws and stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, these things wear out so many hole saws so fast. Like, what's going on? There's got to be something. And then it's like, snap. Oh, just line this up right here and pop this thing, and you're good to go. Here's these little inserts to use.
So freaking cool.
That's it, man. They're always coming out with something new for every aspect of the trades.
Mm-hmm. And guys, that's the thing, and that's why we do what we do. If you're not learning what out there is new, that's what I love about going to Milwaukee's pipeline.
Yep.
You walk in, and I remember our first time I saw the Unistrut shear. It's like, boom. It's like, wait, it doesn't even need to be really filed or anything. There's no metal edges hanging off of it waiting to cut the mess out of you.
Yeah, like this year, one of the coolest ones that I saw is I used to do, I was a pipe fitter, so I'd have a lot of multi-layered pipe racks, multi-tiered. You know how you run that nut and you try to rub it on every piece of your arm you possibly can so you can get it up that rod as quick as possible?
Yeah.
They've got a cordless power tool now that does that for you.
Oh, yeah.
And
he ain't talking about a 3-foot deep socket.
Yeah. It's a tool. It'll run it out and you just pull it off the side. Done. Yeah. It'll run that nut all the way up. And it was like, oh, do you know how much time that would have saved me in my years, man? Yeah. Because, I'd use conduit and lock a nut in there and attach that to a drill sometimes so you could just run nuts way up long pieces of thread. We would build a lot of things.
Absolutely. Okay, Paul Johnson says, can't find them, build them. My son started helping me at 14, 18 now, and a third-year apprentice in school. Brother, that is wonderful.
It's awesome.
And time is money. Tag Vicky Johnson. How you doing, Vicky? NJ Vixum says, happy Friday. Love the content. Can you do more content with other trades like HVAC and electrical? We do every day, brother.
That's it.
We don't just talk plumbing over here.
No.
Also, how do you go about evaluating your skills and ability and knowledge and correlating that with how much you're worth? That's a good deal. And I don't know if you're an apprentice or a journeyman, but what I'll tell you is never stop learning. And that is one thing that, look, I got my license in about 83. I got in the union in 97. And from 83 to 97, I didn't learn anything. I hate to say it. I didn't. But then when I got into union, I got my med gas license. And once I got my med gas license, I'm like, man, what other endorsements are there? Well, I found out about the WSPS. I found out about the residential fire protection system. And I'm like, well, I want those too, but I also wanted my master license. So I went back and got my master's. Then I had to go back and get my master med gas because I just had my journeyman med gas. So then I got every endorsement. But the one thing I learned is when I started learning more, when I started learning leadership, management, communications, I started moving up and making more money. So guys, never stop learning, but you've got to look and ask yourself, what is it you're not good at? What is it that you need to learn that maybe your foreman is good at or your superintendent is good at? What can you learn to move up? Because I tell people all the time, you can learn your way up out of anything. And a lot of time it's just an education. And he says, Johan Brown, give me a shout. Don't advertise your marketing on here, brother. Come on. David, keep it real. All right.
I would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where they build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And when I say they, I mean me. And I build a couple different devices, guys. I build a Pro T-handle style. That comes with a stainless steel rod, which is durable. It won't bend on you when you're probing it in and out of the ground. That's the one we prefer for that meter to the home service or anything underground like landscape. irrigation, stuff like that. That's what it's out there for. Also, I build the Sidekick pistol grip style with an aluminum rod on it. That aluminum rod, it's a less dense metal, so it enhances the sound even more than the Probe. Now, you don't really want to use the Sidekick underground because that aluminum rod, it will bend on you. But this is the one you want when you go indoors or you're listening through any slabs, whether that's in the home, the driveway, or even the sidewalks. So we always suggest checking out the complete kit. That's the one that comes with both devices. If you want to check out that equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you don't know much about leak detection and you're wanting to add that to your plumbing company, you can come out and I do a 2-day training here just outside of Dallas, Texas, where I teach you how to actually locate the lines. I've got 11 leaks under a slab to train you on, one outside of the slab so that you know what that sounds like also. Then I've got a couple of sewer systems set up. I've got a cast iron and a PVC system where I teach you how to go to the double clean out outside of a home and determine exactly where the sewer system is leaking. It's non-invasive, but for anything that you find that you can't see just on a camera, how do you deal with that? I need to replace your whole system? We give you a way to be able to determine exactly where that's leaking. But then also, you can sit down with this guy and learn how to market the leak detection into the plumbing company that you've got, how to market, checking your SEO, things like that on your site to make sure that you're doing everything right that you're supposed to, because he's learned a lot over the years about that stuff. So definitely give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO if you would like to discuss the training or even the equipment. Be happy to talk to you.
And guys, if you want to learn more about social media, if you're interested in, or you've even ever thought about starting your own YouTube channel, I launched a webinar. It's a free one. It's called Kickstart Your YouTube. Sorry about that. I just saw a bunch of things pop up.
I know.
Yeah, which is great when you talk about that too, which is Kickstart Your Webinar. But guys, I dispel the myth that people tell me the reason they can't do YouTube. And to be honest, anybody can do it. If you want to learn more about it, go to www.justmattroger.com. And I am going to be in Virginia in a week.
Next week.
I'm there next week. I'm there Friday.
8 days.
Right?
Yeah, you fly.
Speak on Friday, fly on Thursday, something like that.
They'd have to verify that. I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it is Thursday. You fly.
Matter of fact, right about now, I'm speaking in Virginia next week.
Yes.
So I'm going to do a meet and greet that morning. Love for y'all to come by and see me. Look, you can register for free right here. If you're anywhere in that Virginia area, guys, this is going to be worth coming out and seeing. We're going to do a meet and greet that morning. If you register here, I'm bringing you swag bags that Squirt spends precious time putting together.
I've already been I put 40 together this morning.
See, he's all over it. He is all
getting
over
ready.
it. I love that. But guys, really, love to see y'all there. Man, come on out. There's a link there to the Eventbrite. And actually, it's over here on the left side on YouTube. You can just click on it and boom, you're there. TikTok, Instagram, if y'all want to go, if you're in the Virginia area, love to see y'all. See, I talked to TikTok and Instagram over here and y'all up here. So here we go. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about MEP.
MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, guys.
That's three of our favorite, well, two of the three of our favorites.
Yeah, you know. Pipe supports in commercial spaces.
And that's a big deal.
When the code isn't clear. This is a huge deal, okay? I dealt with big, heavy pipes. Supports are the most important thing of the whole system because you don't want it to fall.
Ever.
I heard about some bad stories out at the airport of whole lines falling out, just anchors being pulled out of the concrete because the weight was too much. So, that's it. But have you ever had an inspector argue that the spacing was off, but didn't cite a specific clause? Now, the general rule is every 4 foot for 3/4 inch copper, every 6 foot for 2-inch PVC, but that varies by the authority having jurisdiction also. Because here in Dallas now, I think we carry hangers every 4 feet for PVC. It doesn't matter what size it is, just about, until you start getting to the larger sizes, I'll say. Not it doesn't matter. It does matter.
And see, 4 feet seems a little close. I don't know why I was thinking it was like 5 or 6 feet. Yeah,
It's come in. It's pulled in tight.
it's me thinking.
Yeah. But it's going to vary.
You've got to check with the
each
AHA. That's
location.
what it's all about.
That's it. And it's going to be by pipe types, pipe size, verticals or horizontals. Everything's going to change the spacing a little bit here and there.
You keep going. I'm working on something here.
Okay. But you can always refer to the UPC table or the IPC. But you're also going to have to check the local amendments.
Okay, I want you to do something here. I'm going to let you do this. Code department, because you see better than I do. What I'm trying to find out is what the code is. Because this is a deal that we did the other day.
You'll be logged in.
And I'm, okay, well, maybe I didn't log in.
You didn't.
Okay, then never
log
mind. Okay, see, I've got the UPC app, the iAppmo app, and I thought, man, what a great time to look at it. So it may be better later, but I'll work on that. I don't have the code book in here. I've got the you know what, you might be able to find it in here. This is my study guide.
That's training manual. Oh.
Yeah, but the study guide. And this is the UPC. Now, this is the 2018. Go ahead here.
Check
I'll let you have
313.1.
this. That's where I'm headed. 313.1.
Mm-hmm. But you are going to have to check locally to make sure that
This doesn't break it.
it actually matters. Okay. Yeah. Add isolation bushings on hot and cold runs near drywall. Inspectors love it. Okay. But a real example here, a Dallas hospital expansion failed rough in because pipe supports weren't within 18 inches of fittings. They had to go back and re-strap 400 feet. And guys, that's one of the biggest ones. With every change of direction, you've got to have a hanger within
A foot.
That's to
what we used to
18
do it.
inches. Foot's good. A lot of my fittings were, I'd have to push them 18 inches, 2 feet out sometimes. But I ran big pipes. So that rule kind of was questionable sometimes for my piping just because the way it worked. But man, having to go back
Who's
and
your
restrap
daddy?
that much is tough.
Copper and copper alloys, brazed, threaded, or mechanical, horizontal. 1.5 and smaller, 6 feet. 2 inches and larger, 10 feet. Okay, so there's your copper. PVC, slide down here, schedule 40. All sizes, 4 feet. Allow for expansion every 30 feet. Yep.
Man.
No,
look
and
at that
I
sharp
said
guy.
on copper, I thought
Yep.
it was a little further than 4
Yep.
feet. But yeah, and you said on copper, on PVC, it is every
It's
4
4
feet,
feet, man.
which is great. CPVC, 1 inch and smaller, even goes down to 3 feet. So, having this code book, and this is table 313.3, guys, it's your hangers and your supports, even your vertical. So a lot of good stuff. I love having these guides, because look at this. This is the training guide. This isn't the code book. This is what trains you on it. And the way I've got it marked, I mean, y'all saw how quick I went to that. It wasn't just, okay, let me go look at all this. I've got my tabs in it, and I'm really big about setting this stuff up so I can find it.
And guys, remember, straps are cheap. Failures are not.
Ooh.
Know your tables and win your inspections. It's important. You've got to know your trade. You've got to know your trade like the back of your hand. And there's so much truth to that. You've got to start learning all the, especially hanger spacings. That's one of the first steps that you've got to learn, honestly, because you've got to have your pipe supported right.
And here's the bad thing. Say you're running PVC, and you put your hangers every 5 feet because that's what you think.
Yep.
You know what you're going to end up doing? Coming in, putting in twice as many hangers. Because now, instead of taking this one down and moving it over a foot and taking that one down, moving it 2 feet and taking that, that's a lot of work.
That's it.
It's going to be a whole lot easier to just add a hanger right between those, because now you got them every 2.5 feet, which is way overkill.
Yep.
But it's going to save you labor. But you're going to spend a ton of money on that labor, because now whatever you put in for your hangers, you pretty much just doubled.
Yeah.
Labor and materials. So guys, it's smart to know your code.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because the inspector's not going to say, oh, well, you know what, it's 5 feet, it's close.
It's close enough.
No.
This ain't horseshoes and hand grenades,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah, this is not. All right, let's talk about where the work is real quick.
Yeah, big money in franchises, guys. Fast food chains that are now building new. Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, and Dutch Brothers are launching drive-through only and compact footprint builds across the South and the Midwest.
And you know where they're building those, don't you?
I do know where the Dutch
In
Brothers
Las
are
Vegas,
for sure.
baby.
I don't think they're building Chick-fil-A's there yet.
Well, I don't
Yet.
know, but I've seen
Yet.
Dutch Brothers there. I think I've seen the Taco Bells there.
Dutch Brothers, yeah.
Dutch Brothers, yes. I think I've seen Taco Bells, maybe a Raising Cane's. I don't remember, but I know they're building some of those in Vegas,
Well, that's good.
which we want to go. We want to go video. We've already talked to them, y'all. We're working on it.
Yeah. We're talking about in the world builds, though.
There you go.
Today.
Okay, I get
for
that.
This.
I get that.
It's got a huge MEP opportunity, guys. Fast track schedules, compact mechanical rooms, combo rooftop units.
Everything. They're even putting the benches and seats and tables in there.
That's it.
It is so cool.
Franchises usually hire the same 3 to 5 national GCs. If you get on their preferred vendor list,
Booyah.
you're in, guys.
Especially if they're building them in your area, guys, that is a great thing because look, you're going to get called again. You are going to get called again. If I was in Vegas right now, I'd be over at Ahern saying, "Hey, how do I get on your list to be your plumber?" They've got 3 or 4 guys there all day, every day.
Yeah. That's it. A good tip here, though. Fast food build-outs often spec copper DWV or insulated condensate lines in tight ceilings. Prefab your runs, guys.
Prefab anything you can.
Prefab everything you can.
I
That's
tell you what,
right. Like,
the first thing popped in my mind when you said it. If I had an apprentice in the shop who said, "Look, I ain't got nothing to do," I would tell him, "You take 3/4 inch male adapters, sweat them on an 18-inch piece of 3/4 inch copper, and when he says, 'How many do you need?' Say, 1,000. Let him prefab all your water heater work. You've got the first piece coming right off the top of your dielectric union. Boom. Just saying.
guys, these aren't glamorous jobs, but they pay fast and they repeat often. And repeat work builds a business quick.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go into instructor training because building the right test bench for apprentices in the shop, this does what your apprentices need to learn to retain the skills.
Yep.
Okay? Because if you want them to retain skills, build something that they can walk in and do once a week. They're going to get bored with it. They're going to get tired of it. They're going to be like, "Look, I can do that." Okay, do it again. Last time it took you 30 minutes to replace that thing. Do it in 20. And like, "Well, I'm not trying to do it fast. I'm trying to do it right." Well, do it right. Do it in
And
20.
fast. Yep.
Yeah. And if you can build a hands-on test bench, you can go in there and literally you can take a lavatory faucet, you can reach inside and you can mess up the spring, you can mess up the washer, you can mess up the cartridge. You can do so many different things and say, "Hey, go in and test this and see what's wrong." And let them figure it out.
That's it. And you want to have like pipe runs with every type of fitting. Sweat, push, press. You're going to want to see it all, be able to experience it all. A breaker box for lockout and tagout training. That is huge for all trades to know how to do.
Yeah. LOTO doesn't mean it's not short for lottery.
That's it. Simulate a call. No hot water. Toilet won't stop running, etc. Do the role playing because you need to put them on the spot where they can try to work through the issues with you. You've experienced a lot of them, so put them in those shoes and make them try to live through your experience. It's the best way to teach.
I like this because there was a shop in Missouri that built a mobile wall system with exposed pipes and electrical, and it reduced callback rates on new techs by 30% in 6 months because they got used to looking at it every single freaking day.
Yep.
They just get in, they look at it, and they're like, "Okay, hey, here's the deal here, here's the deal here, here's the deal here." I love it when you walk into Austin to take your plumbing exam, and they got like 5 or 6 water heaters there, and there's something wrong with each one. And you got to say, "Hey, this is what's wrong here. This is what's wrong here. This is what's wrong here. This is what's wrong here." Because, guys, if you can see what's wrong,
Yep.
you can install it right.
Yep.
Because you know what wrong looks like. Now, your apprentices don't need another Zoom video. they need a shutoff valve that actually leaks or leaks through or needs to be replaced, and they can touch it and feel it. And if they had a system like Leak Pro, they could just put it on it and say, there it is right there. It's closed, but that son of a biscuit is screaming.
Yep. I know it's leaking. Let me figure out what's going on with it. That's it.
All right, let's roll into specialty, which is, look, and we talked about this the other day. If you're just a plumbing company that doesn't specialize in anything, you're just like everybody else.
Yep.
And I say plumbing, it can be plumbing,
company.
electrical, HVAC. But if you can say, hey, look, we specialize in slab leaks, leak detection, and whole house water filtration. Now people are like, wow, why would you do water filters? Is that really a big deal? I thought the water was clean when it got to you. Oh, it's clean, but it's full of chlorine, chloramine, I don't know, fecal matter. Go to what'sinyourwater.com and really go to halo.com and click on what's in your water. And if y'all hadn't done that, if y'all are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, go to Halo Water Systems, scroll down to where it says what's in your water, click on it. Tell me that you're not surprised a little bit. All right, I want to jump in here because I see that we had some comments. Yeah, David, you're good. I just don't like that. I don't think that's right for people. Abe says, why did the electrician bring a ladder to the bar? He heard the drinks were on the house. There you go. And Davidas 125 says, do you think that in the near future, Americans will be more likely to let people from Europe into their country to work in construction because of the shortage of people? Thanks if you can answer. We'll let Europeans in right now. Yeah. If you can come in to Texas and prove to them you've got experience in plumbing, history in plumbing, hours in plumbing, they're going to look at it and say, hey, yeah, welcome to Texas. We're glad you're here. So that's not a problem. Nope. Just going to let you know that we're always looking for people over here. All right, back to specialty.
Man, installing lift stations in flat terrain.
You ever installed a lift station?
I have, but different lift stations.
Okay.
I've done it for steam and condensate.
Oh, see, I've done it
for condensate, not for the steam.
I've done it for Texas Instruments.
Okay.
Build lift stations, set the floats. I love the calculations. Know at what level does the pump need to kick on? At what level does it need to kick off? That way you know how much water you're making. Just so many cool things.
Yeah.
But a flat side?
Flat side. No natural drop for the drains. You are in lift station country. Now, you can use duplex systems with redundant pumps.
We've got some of those here.
We do. Install high-level alarms and check valves on each of the lines. And this is something big I learned doing condensate, steam condensate, one of the most dangerous. And it's like, look, here's everything you got to do, and do not ever forget these things.
Yes.
Because it will definitely create a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget the odor control trap loop. Your customers will thank you for that.
Now, this is something I don't know nothing about.
Okay. Pro tip here, though, is if you're installing lift stations with swing check valves and clean outs on both sides, that way you don't have to trench again later.
Yeah. It's kind of like, do it right the first time.
Yeah. Sewage doesn't care about gravity or your schedule.
Yeah.
Do it right or come back and redo it again.
Now, and the funny thing about that is look, and Squirt talk about this all the time. It is so much cheaper to do it right the first time, because by the time you have to come back, we figured the other day, I mean, it can cost another hour or two extra.
At least an hour.
Yeah. If it were going to take you 10 minutes to do while you're there, guess what? When you get back, it's going to take you that same 10 minutes. Except now you had to get all those materials together. You had to go ahead. You're good. Have I got yours?
No.
You've got to get all that stuff together. Then you got to get out there. Then you got to do it. This is what breaks a job. This is what costs jobs money. So let's roll into social media spotlight. We're talking about plumbing today, talking about my brothers over at the Mechanical Hub. And on the big picture, trade coverage is what they talk about. Plumbing, hydronics, HVAC. They deep dive into tool used, job site bills, and MEP coordination. Now, highlights specialty installs like in-floor heating and commercial builds. Now, we love the in-floor radiant heat. We've got to go out on one of those projects up in New York, and they've got a strong audience of pros, not just viewers. Now, my buddy Eric Cooney is great. Love seeing him, love hanging out with him at events. But Randy, what is it you liked about the Mechanical Hub?
Man, they do podcasts. They're trying to make the trades great again. How do you not love that? I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mechanical Hub, plumbing, HVAC, hydronic contractors connection to industry news, new products, business advice, new tools, and more. Tool reviews, product demos done by real trade professionals.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 118 million views, on the rise, almost 800 videos out. But guys, just like, a lot of the podcasts that you do on this channel, I've been on it. I try to pass on some of my best knowledge in those conversations in that room. That's the same thing that you're going to get from a lot of tradespeople doing podcasts. So that's why I wanted to kind of bring some light here, because the more information that you can hear from experienced tradespeople, the better off you are setting yourself up for success. One of my major things I did whenever I went on a job, I looked for the oldest guy on the job, and I'm like, that's who I want to work with. I want to work with that guy. Yeah, I do. He's got more experience than any of y'all. Holy crap, maybe you do want to work with him. I know I do. I know it's going to be a pain. He's going to let me do more than anybody else, though, because he's getting old. He doesn't want to do it. He would much rather have my little young body in there knocking it out for him, and then he's going to teach me the right way to do it the whole time also.
Now, I like this. I mean, they started doing videos 9 years ago, so they've got me by a couple of years.
Yep.
But I mean, you look at this, there's some beautiful work here, that they're doing some really good stuff. You can tell, and I love looking at like these old thumbnails and stuff. This is just a shot from the video.
Yep.
And you start scrolling down, and right down here, where at 6 years ago, they started doing a little bit of work on their thumbnails. Good looking channel. I love the attitude of the guys. They know what they're talking about. They're great people. And you look at their new stuff, and now their most popular video right there. And I've been up for 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 3 years. So a lot of their older stuff is their most popular, which makes sense. It's been up there long enough.
Yep.
And then when you come into their latest, more trade talk stuff now. So this is, they've pretty much switched over to podcast now, but they still do throw in videos every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
So neat stuff.
It is. It's pretty cool. And if you're not out there on socials yet, guys, get started. Show off the things that you do. Just your normal day to day will start to build and increase before you know it. You may be a full-time influencer.
The funny thing is, they're one of the few accounts that talk with tradespeople, not just at them. And I love that, because I think that we do the same thing. We go to the shows. These are the kind of people we hang out with. These are the people we talk to. These are the people we want to meet. But we also love getting around and visiting the vendors, talking to them, going to their booths, figuring out how well we can help them. So, man, there's so many great things going on. And Randy and I both love the trades. We love what we get to do in the trades, how we get to help tradespeople. And it does. It makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And that's the key.
Got some questions in
got
here.
Some comments over here.
We do. If I can find it. There we go.
Matt's running again.
Yep. So we've got to run again. Been in too many lift stations to count. Smells like money. Have a great weekend and keep doing the awesome things you do. Love you both. Bye. Love you, brother.
Yes,
You're
sir.
great at what you do. Great getting to hang out with you a couple of weeks ago. God, we don't go to Vegas for like 3 or 4 months, do we?
No.
I know it's sad. we may have to fly out there just to eat one afternoon.
That's all.
Just to eat one afternoon. Not a bad deal. And he says, of course, go Leak Pro.
Yeah, baby.
Information of knowledge and knowledge is power you didn't have before.
Yeah.
Guys, the more you can learn, the more you can grow. Mario Gotti says information is knowledge and knowledge is power. Put you in a position you may not have been in before. Yes, I knew what he meant. Brother Stanley Orchard just made it in here. Stanley, how are you, sir?
How's it going?
Mr. YouTube.
Yep. Friday.
Absolutely, brother. It is. Guys, I love what we get to do. And speaking of YouTube, if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, but you're scared, you don't get it, you don't understand it, you're like, look, I can't start YouTube because. Luckily, I didn't say that. I'm because man, that's the one that I could have grabbed a hold of.
At first, you thought about it. Because what did you think social media was at first?
Oh yeah,
Facebook.
I thought it was just Facebook. But once I discovered YouTube, the day that I walked in, and I didn't, I walked in, I sat down on the front row at a social media marketing conference, and I walked into the room because it said, get in front of your customers using video, and I needed to grow. And I look up and this guy walks out, and one of the first things that he says is YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And I shut my notebook. I thought, this guy's stupid. He doesn't know anything. And I put my hand on the chair next to me. I start to turn around and get up, and I looked in the back of the room, and it was standing room only. And quickly in my mind, I was like, you know, he may know something. And when I turn around and look back up, the next thing he said is, and it's owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world. And immediately I thought, we're sending all this money to Google. Why aren't we sending any money to YouTube? Little did I realize that if I could start growing, YouTube would start sending me money. Actually, Google sends me money on the 21st of every month or thereabout. Now, luckily, I sat there and I took notes for 45 minutes. I took great notes. I took 3 pages. So on the way home, I came up with an implementation plan. Not just on the way home. I came in the office the next day. I came in the office that Sunday. But I came up with an implementation plan and said, this is what I'm going to start doing to do YouTube. Now, I didn't have the fear. I didn't say I can't do this. I didn't say, oh my gosh, I don't have the tools. I don't have the know-how. I'm too old. I mean, there are a million different things I could have said. But I came home saying, look, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to grow my company. So if you've got that mindset, click on this link, go to www.justmattroger.com, click on the link, go check it out. It's a free webinar. It's just going to tell you some things to help you make a decision as to whether you really think you can or not. And to me, I'm so glad that I did YouTube because it completely changed my life. So if you want to learn more about it, go to www.justmattroger.com. And remember that I am going to be speaking in Virginia at the Leadership Summit. And this is going to be May the 9th. This is like a week from today. Right now, I will be finishing up, or I'll be still on stage. So I'm going to do a meet and greet that morning, 9 to 11 Central Standard Time. Let me figure that dog out there, or pig out. There we go. 9 to 11 Eastern Time. I'm going to do a meet and greet. Come hang out with me, visit with me. Then I go on stage at 11 and you can hang around. If you want to buy your lunch, you can buy your lunch. They'll have something there. Squirt, take just a minute. Tell us about Leak Pro, and then happy Friday to y'all.
Man, that is it. You know, I'm Henry Wakefield. We want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here, hang out, and get to talk trades with y'all every day. And I love that. But Leak Pro does manufacture the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And they build a couple different devices. You've got the probe for that meter to the home service, real durable for probing in and out of the ground, irrigation lines, things like that. That's the one you want. If that leak happens to be under a slab or sidewalk or the driveway or something,
We got that covered.
you're going to want to have that sidekick. So look at the complete kit. It comes with both. That sidekick's pistol grip style. That's the one you want for indoor or listening through any slab anywhere. It enhances the sound even more so that you can pinpoint locate those leaks. So check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you don't know anything about leak detection, you can come out here, spend a couple days with me, and I will train you up on everything you need to know on how to do leak detection. We'll go through line locating, leak detection under a slab, outside of the slab, and even in a sewer system. And you can talk to this guy about marketing and adding this service into your business and how to market that. So give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And man, everybody, thank you for coming today. We appreciate it. Hope to see you back here on Monday. Happy Friday. I hope you'll have a wonderful weekend. Don't think about the weekend too much. We still have half a day to get through.
Get through it.
We're almost there. So everybody, get out there, hit it effing hard. Have a great weekend.
And whatever y'all do out there today, do it safe. We'll see y'all Monday.
Bye, guys.